So the quiz today, let me just look at it again, was what do you think is of higher consciousness? Being salt of the earth, being supportive, or being loyal? All right. All of them are of higher consciousness. That's the good news. So if someone calls you the salt of the earth, that's a great praise and of higher consciousness. Salt of the earth calibrates at 240 on the map of consciousness. That's almost at the level of neutrality, which is 250. And salt of the earth people, they do not need to be right about anything, which is awesome. They're very easygoing. And supportive is 245 on the map. So it's still a quantum leap up from salt of the earth. 240 to 245 is a big leap. But all of us have all of these qualities within us. If you look at the map and you read about each level, you'll recognize yourself on something in your life. So supportive is even more powerful in consciousness than being salt of the earth, but they're all good. There's no, you don't want to, just because it's higher does not mean better. Trust me. I got super high. It did not serve me in the end. Did, for a while, but it didn't serve me in the end. So being loyal is a leap up from salt of the earth and supportive at 345 on the map of consciousness. So to be a loyal friend, you're operating from a higher level of consciousness. And to actually feel loyalty within yourself, you'll feel it as opposed to making it up. You think you're a loyal friend, but so look at different friendships and say, am I being loyal here? Am I being loyal there? And there'll be friends who are like, yeah, I don't need to be loyal. They weren't loyal to me. So mind you, that attitude is of lower consciousness, which is fine until you realize it. I mean, I personally am constantly, catching myself. I'm like, okay, that was a low vibe, but I laugh it off because it is within all of us. So embrace this, and putting all this into context helps you understand where you're at, where you want to be, and recognize these pieces of you that you already have that are of higher consciousness. So next week, we're going to talk about letting go and letting God. What the heck does that mean? We're going to put God into context just to keep it make it simpler for us to follow the map of where we want to be. And it's really great understanding. And Dr. Hawkins talks about letting go and letting God and understanding where true power is. And I'm going to kind of share what I've learned from him. And then the week after that, we're going to learn how to let go. And you're going to probably come back to it again and again and again because you need kind of support, and you're going to get it because I'm like, I'm doing it. Are things changing? And yes, they are. But I didn't feel like, I'm going to talk my way with you on what to look for and how to let go and start to see vast changes in your level of consciousness. And Dr. Hawkins, who was a psychiatrist for like 50 years, he had the biggest psychiatric practice in Manhattan at one time, which is huge. I mean, you're going to see the worst human suffering in a place like Manhattan for sure. And even though he was highly intellectual, brilliant, probably genius level psychiatrist, he recognized that the mechanism of letting go, which he kind of shares and developed, is like a rocket ship relative to everyday psychiatry or any other type of alternative practice or therapy. So I'm all for the rocket ship. And I took a rocket ship to Mars and back, by the way. That's a whole other story. All right, so that's 2 weeks from this episode. We're going to talk about how to let go. And then maybe I'll do that Legally Blonde one after that. We'll see. We'll see what comes to me. There's so much good stuff to talk about. I'm excited to share it all with you and to help you guys listening shift from where you are today to where you want to be whenever. All right. I think that's it. If you like what's going on here, please like us on social media, like me, the topic. Our podcast you can find at trumpeteroftruthradio.com. If you follow along on YouTube, it's at trumpeteroftruhtv.com. And I'd love it if you're finding this helpful to comment anywhere, or my website, trumpeteroftruth.com. I love Trumpeter of Truth. There's a whole story about that on one of the earlier episodes, why I call myself the Trumpeter of Truth. It's kind of funny. And yeah, my intention is to raise the level of consciousness of the earth, which is currently at around 207 to around 250. And I can't do that alone. I need you guys. I need my peeps. We as a collective can do it for sure, but that's a huge leap. That's a big ask. But, you know, I know who we're talking to. You know, creator of all things is like, oh, we'll do what we can. You know, it's okay if we do, it's okay if we don't. It doesn't matter. But, you know, to get the whole planet into neutral, that's a pretty healthy planet, if you ask me. It's a good direction to go. But, you know, we're here forever and a day, and I've been shown eternity in a revelation. I've been brought through eternity 2 or 3 times, at least twice, if not 3 times, have been shown eternity. This is a revelation. Revelations come in the 500s. I've had a few. They're a little overwhelming, but we are eternal. What's the hurry? If we don't get to 250 in this lifetime, there's no hurry. If we drop, you know, 10 points, there's no hurry. We get an eternity to figure it all out. And I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to say it at the end of every episode. Hopefully I'll remember. Love is the truth. The power of consciousness of love is huge. And the only reason you wouldn't believe it is because you haven't experienced it and you're not even there yet. So we're working towards that, honey buns. Love is the truth. See you next time.